that can translate. When you put Chinese language, it will translate it to you, or you can get it. And then you can go ahead and quickly learn Chinese language. You can go and learn. I have a daughter. When you see her talk, like, you think she's from South Korea. The Korean language like this, my daughter relate well and then talk to them, exchange ideas, travel, do exams in Korea. And that is beautiful. It's a good thing. Another one is geographical and economic limitation. Not everyone has the financial means or the opportunity to travel or live abroad, which can limit their global awareness. Students who lack international exposure may have difficulty fully understanding global issues or connecting with the people from other countries. I'm sorry, without actually slighting anybody, I'm the type of people that actually postulate that if, for example, if you want to be an academia, you want to be a lecturer, I will advise you don't do first degree, second degree, and the third degree, PhD, in the same institution. We call it inbreeding, and we call it, I don't know. But if one have opportunity, you do your first degree, master elsewhere, if possible, the PhD, go outside to do it. And that is why the opportunity government gave to people via issue of TED fund and the like is very, very commendable. I know of a country, while I was in the UK, I know of a country, the people in Indonesia, Malaysia, and the like, Singapore, when they finish their first degree, even Libya, when this man, when Gaddafi was still alive, the policy of Gaddafi as a president then was that when you finish first degree, your masters and PhD will not be in Libya. You must travel to either US or UK to do your PhD. Are you getting it? This is about issue of internalization and globalization, just to be able to get to see what other people do. You see some lecturers, the way they will do, the way they even handle students, the way they treat students. You will know that it's because of their local environment. But when you are in another environment, in another climate, when students have opportunity of asking you a question, I'm not saying some of their culture is good or perfect more than our own. Our own culture of respect. I was teaching some 300 level students in the UK, and the way they would call me, just say, "Shay, can I book an appointment with you? Can I come to your office?" He will talk to you, call you Shay. He want to see me. He says, "Shay, can I book an appointment for you 3 o'clock? Will you be in the office 3 o'clock? I want to see you." Or when you give them assignment, consider their own mentality. But unless you see it from another perspective, you know. Okay. You give a student assignment. By the grace of God, you say submit 12 noon. They have a system over there that you don't submit to either class, governor, or whatever. There's a boss. Are you getting it? When that 12 noon does like this, when you get to that boss, you want to drop your assignment, you don't accept it again. The thing will just say locked. So 12, are you going to be talking to the boss there? So, but before that 12 o'clock, this guy will come to you. Shay, I have finished that assignment. Can you help me check whether it's a mark, A grade? So you want me to check the assignment I gave him to know whether it's an A grade. So as a lecturer, over there you must accept. You pick it, you check for him or her whether it's an A grade. So when you finish your assignment, it's not an A grade. This is fair. You need to beef up and then correct some. Okay, thank you, Shay. Run again. Go and do another one. Bring it to you. Can you help me check? Before the deadline, and before you finish the deadline, he drops it like this. So you can't tell him that I don't like your face and I'll give you a candidate D. Can you do that? You can say, but what am I saying? Issue of diligence. This guy is up and doing, is trying to do it, and what he wants to do is going for excellence. Over there, when you have a material, we don't have it in our own library. That's what we call inter-library loan. They will get that textbook or material from across the entire world. Whichever library it is, they will get it for them. So they have opportunity of reading, consulting, and say, help me check whether it's an A grade. I'm not saying our own is not better. We are doing great, and we can actually improve. And that is why we are saying we should think globally. And we should, act locally, think globally. Nationalism and then political barrier. I don't want to waste much of our time on that. Lack of education and global issue on global issue. Students may not be exposed to education that covers. Thank God for that's why I appreciate the organizer of today's lecture who actually gave us the opportunity to rub minds together on this. Some students doesn't know that we need to look at things globally. And then another thing, another problem is parochial mindset. Parochial mindset. A focus on local issues and concern, often due to sense of attachment to our own community or environment. So localism can limit the scope of understanding, making it harder for individuals to see how local action may have global implication or to consider the impact of global issue on local community. Well, information overload and misinformation, fear or resistance to change, these are possible challenges. Some students may feel uncomfortable or fearful about embracing new ideas, especially if those ideas challenge long-held belief or value. Resistance to change can result in a reluctance to explore unfamiliar perspective, preventing global thinking from taking its root. So, how do we overcome all these challenges and think globally? Yes, James 1:5, other encouragement saying, if any of you lack wisdom, you remember that particular passage, let him ask of God, who give all liberally and without reproach. As we face challenges in broadening our academic perspective, gentlemen and ladies, we can turn to God for wisdom, not just to understand local or familiar ideas, but to gain insight that span the globe. Below are some of the things we can do to overcome some of the aforementioned challenges. What am I trying to say? Picking the book of James, I said it. Is this we are looking at global thinking from the perspective, biblical perspective. The Bible in the book of James says any one of us that lack wisdom, it doesn't say we should begin to look for people to help us. What it says is that we should ask of God. Because the Bible even recorded that Jesus is the wisdom of God. So if that is the case, we should ask God. And by doing that, he will be able to help us. So, and then, apart from asking from God, these are some ways of overcoming the aforementioned challenges. Actively seek out opportunity to interact with and learn from people of different backgrounds. So people in electrical, people in mechanical, it's not only coincidental that you are in the same university. You can learn across. We go to them. We say, you see, some people are good in mathematics. You are not good. But the little you need to actually do well in your own area, why can't you just approach them? I usually tell my children, history or story of how I was able to pass my physics during my secondary school days. I have a friend who knows physics so well. I don't know physics too much. I tell us, if I don't have credit in physics, in FUTA, you cannot come and read quantity surveying. I don't course you want to do. If you don't have things like mathematics, physics, chemistry in FUTA, you can't do it. Are you getting it? So I have to humble myself. I will follow him to farm. His father happens to be the type that sell. I don't know how to call them. I want to tab. We will go together to the market. We tie those things. I will come back home. We will wait until 6 o'clock to go and pick them again. So during the time, the free period, I will sit down with Sikiru Bilal. He will be the one teaching me physics and the like. At the end of the day, I did my GCE. I was able to pass physics. Today, it's not the one using that physics again. I've used that long ago to have my admission in FUTA, and today, to the glory of God. So what was I saying? Seek an opportunity to interact and learn from different backgrounds and challenge personal assumptions through education and exposure. Not only that, utilize online resources, engage international programs, or attend global conferences and discussions to broaden your own worldview. You shouldn't be the local champion alone. Try and actually utilize online resources. I've warned us, not everything that you see on Google and all this online something that you can actually take wood and sinker. Are you getting it? You question them, you challenge them, because it's not everything that you see there that is correct. Learning foreign language or using translation tool, as well as participating in exchange program, can help bridge the communication gap. Not only this, our education system, this is more or less a recommendation or suggestion to our system, should integrate global study and cross-cultural education into our curricula, while students can seek out additional resources and courses to build their global knowledge. This is exactly what NUC is saying when we talk about how many international foreign students do you have in your institution. This affects their rating, the rating of Nigerian universities. Okay? Because here we don't have. I remember, my experience over there in the UK, more than 77 nationals are in my class, master class, project management class in the UK. More than 77 nationals are in that class. People from Papopolo, Irish, Polish, all of them. You see them around. So you interact. There I learned danke, terima kashe. Different language, the same thing. You want to say thank you. Danke in German. Abi? People that know, they will say danke. Malay will say terima kashe. So different, and I will say eshiwabi, Yoruba will say adupe, whatever. So different languages. So when you interact with different people of different, background or whatever, you gain a lot. So as a student, you are encouraged to think about how local and global issues are interconnected. Teaching critical thinking skills, media literacy, and ability to analyze and verify information is crucial in helping students navigate the global information landscape. It is important. That is exactly what I'm saying. I think the new thing we should be doing as lecturers, academia today, is to help teach our students. I said it at the beginning, that we should not say AI is bad, but rather we should teach them to know that they should ability to analyze, the ability to teach them the ability to analyze, verify information. That is very, very crucial. You're able to analyze whatever you are getting from it. So when a student finish their project with AI, I collect from them, I will sit them down. You see, they are so careless. When you ask questions, some aspect will say certainly. So that certainly that ChatGPT is still saying is still there. They will copy and just paste without even going through. And then when I see some future, all this bulletin, all this numbering from ChatGPT, it's easy to pick. Paragraphing, repetition. I don't know whether you have used it before now. You know what I'm talking about. Rather, we shouldn't discourage them from using it. I'm not discouraging you from using it, but we as lecturers should teach you how to analyze this and verify some of this information. That is what we are saying. Encouraging long-term holistic view in education where students understand how their action and knowledge can contribute to larger solutions. Above all, for you to embrace global thinking, you require humility. You must be humble. Humility. Some people are not humble. That's why they cannot go to that brother to learn, to get from him. You still believe, call me. And with that, you cannot be excellent. And there is a saying in the Bible that says, who see that man that is diligent at his work? He will not stand before me men, but before what? Before king. So if you want to stand before king, you don't want to stand before me men, you must be diligent. And diligence, and then for you to be able to think globally, I'm saying that you need humility. The Bible warns us against the pride of knowledge. In 1 Corinthians 8, number 1, when Paul reminds us that knowledge puff up, but love build up. So we must approach our global study not with arrogance, but with a spirit of humility, recognizing that your own culture, or let me say every culture, every country, every discipline offers something valuable. That's where I started. That the pursuit of knowledge should be rooted in a desire to serve others, to build a better world, and to share wisdom in love. Not that, okay, our superior engineering, engineers, Loda. So what about the engineer? That don't matter, you are hospital. About the people who are doctor. I know calling for one. A man in the builder now. I see. Torí ẹ lè kọ́ hospital yín síta. Àwọn aláìsàn tẹ́ fẹ́ tọ́jú wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ wà nínú ilé kan náà. Àbí? So electrical man tí ò bá finá sílé yín, ẹ̀wọ̀n tó mọ kọ̀mpútà lò tí ò bá síná tí wọ́n fi power nǹkan kò sí nǹkan tó ń ṣe. So therefore gbogbo wa la wúlò, and that's why you think and see from the perspective of others and learn from them. So in conclusion, the power of global thinking in academic pursuit is not just a modern day strategy. I've argued to you that it's a biblical principle. And as we speak knowledge, let us remember that God has created a world filled with diverse people and perspectives. By embracing global thinking, we follow the call to make disciples of all nations, not just in faith, but in wisdom and understanding that God has entrusted to us. So as students, scholars today and steward of knowledge. That is, I call us steward, diligent steward. Knowledge is committed to your hand. So a steward of knowledge, we are not just acquiring information. We are participating in a greater global narrative that reflects God's diverse creation. So remember, academic pursuit isn't just about acquiring knowledge. It's about asking the right question and contributing to the body of knowledge that will shape the future. When we think globally, we ask questions that are not only relevant to our own society, but to the global community. We think about the broader impact of our research, and we challenge ourselves to consider how our findings might be applied or adapted across different contexts. So therefore, as we go, as we engage, as we study, as we share, as we try to learn, let us approach our academic journey with open mind and humble heart. Read to learn and to contribute our unique perspective for the betterment of the world. May our pursuit of knowledge be not only a personal endeavor, but a global mission to seek truth, share wisdom, and love one another. Amen. So thank you, and may God bless you all, your academic pursuit, in Jesus' name.
That's not enough. Can we give Prof a big hand? I'm not even expecting us to sit down while we are clapping. Can we give him a standing ovation? Please, let's clap. That was the Director of Academic Planning, FUTA. The Director of Academic Planning, FUTA. If it's easy, everyone will do it. Thank you very much, sir, for that beautiful and wonderful lecture. And I pray that you'll continue to increase in knowledge, sir. So, while Prof was giving his lecture, some wonderful and fantastic men walked in. So I'll be very disrespectful if I don't recognize them. So in no particular order, I would like to recognize the presence of Mr. John. The surname. I hope I get it. Akalagburu. Am I right, sir? He's the CEO of Kadosh Mechatronics. And one of our esteemed speakers today, please, sir. Can you come to the item, sir? Please, sir. Protocol, please, let's help him. Yes, please. Let's get it. And please, sir, let's have you on the item, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Can we clap? Please. It's not easy. All right. While we're also having the lecture by Professor Awodele, another fantastic man walked in. This man is my own personal daddy, in person of Mr. Oyedokun Damilari. Can we give him one? He was the one-time president on this land. He is very, very welcoming. Whenever he comes to this land, whenever we have situations, he's always there for us. Can we give him a round of applause, please? We love you, sir. Thank you very, very much, sir. All right. While Professor was giving his lecture, okay, before I say this, they'll be moving around with papers. We can pen down our questions. I know we have questions, we can pen down our questions so that we'll treat them at a go. Though, irrespective, you might want to express your question by yourself, not want to pen it down. But irrespective, pen it down. If it's that you want to say it yourself, we'll give you the chance. So, are they moving around already? Have you seen them? It caught my attention. Jumpology. Is there anyone that can maybe enlighten us on what jumpology is? I know we know it. We are just shy. But don't worry, I'll find you. You cannot escape. It's going to follow you. Jumpology. Anyone? Wow. Okay, jumpology. I will not tell us the answer. Professor advocated for the use of AI. So you can go and make your research. The meaning of jumpology. You see, the reason for this seminar is not just to learn basically academic jargons. is also to learn things that you've never heard before. Immediately he said it, I had to check my dictionary and wow, okay, a new word. Okay, let's go to a simple one. Can we tell me some of the reasons why a student must think globally? Some of the reasons a student must think globally. That one is simple now. That one is simple now. Some of the reasons a student must think globally. Oh yeah. Anybody answers my question, 10 marks. 10 marks for you. Tell us your name, your level, and answer the question.
Good afternoon. My name is Oladimeji, a year 3 student of computer science.
Wow.
Yeah. So it is crucial to think globally in order to attain global relevance.
Yes, one. Okay. Okay, that's the word you can tell us. All right, can we give a round of applause? Another person, I need a female this time. I'm coming to and I expect that we will jot All of them are doing serious faces now. All right. In order not to waste much of our time, there are still a lot of lectures to come. I will just advise us, let's write. Having the director of academic planning, Futa, here with us, giving you a lecture with all his wealth of experience is not a small thing. It's not a small thing. This is a man that sits with the vice chancellor, deliberates on key issues. So, if you can't even answer my question, you should be able to ask questions. So, I'm just going to encourage us. Now, okay, let's do something before we go to the next thing on the agenda. I have a question for us. Are we ready? Are we ready? Whoever answers this question, okay, don't worry. A doctor and a bus driver, they were fighting over a lady. Are you with me? A doctor and a bus driver were fighting over a lady. Then, the bus driver wanted to embark on a journey for 7 days. You know, he's a bus driver and probably used to drive from Akure to Lagos. And he wanted to take himself away. So, and he was like, if I should leave this girl for 7 days, this doctor will steal her from my hand. Because then, they were still in toasting stage, Abi. How do you call it? Talking stage. This doctor will steal this woman from our hand. Abi? So, he gave this lady 7 apples. He gave her 7 apples. Do you get what I said? A doctor and a bus driver were fighting for a lady. So the bus driver wanted to embark on a 7 days journey. So he did not want the doctor to steal away his proposed girlfriend because he loves her so much. So he gave her 7 apples before he embarked on the journey. Can anyone tell me the reason why the bus driver did that? Anyone? Anyone? I don't want you. I don't want you. No, I will not ask you again. Can anyone tell me the reason? You're outside. You want to raise your hand? All right, let's have you, sir.
Because it is believed that an apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Let's clap for him now. He said an apple a day keeps the doctor away. So he did that because, please sit down, sir. Let's give him a round of applause. So the guy was a very wise guy. So he gave the lady the apple, 7 apples for 7 days, 1 apple for each day, and be like, okay, if she eats the apples today, 1 apple today, that doctor, it will keep him away. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. So she gave him, he gave her. So expecting that for that 7 days, he will be safe. The doctor will not steal his girlfriend before he comes back. Can we give him a round of applause once more? All right, let's try another redo. I am something. I knock on your door. I am something. I may knock on your door. I may knock on your door, but if you don't open, I may never come again. I am something, I knock on your door. If you don't open, I may never come again. What am I? You've answered my question before. No, I don't want to again. I need someone else. This guy, yes. You're wearing glasses like me.
It's opportunity.
Opportunity. Why? Explain, please.
It comes but once.
It comes what? Let me give you a round of applause. You see, today's academic seminar, so this is a testament that we are here with scholars. We are not just coming here to, so we are here with scholars. Can we give ourselves a round of applause? So like I said earlier, some of the protocol team will be moving around with papers. You can pen down your questions and give it to them. So in that regard. So now we'll be moving to the next thing on the agenda. We'll be having our second lecture. Our second lecture. And this lecture is going to be quite interesting. The title of this lecture is Career Talk, Internship, Volunteerism and Servitude. Career Talk in a semicolon or a colon, internship, career, and servitude. And the person that is going to be giving this lecture, he graduated from the Department of Mechanical Engineering, the Federal University of Technology, Akko, if I'm not right. Am I right, sir? And he's the CEO of Kadosh Mechatronics. He's no other person than Mr. John. I don't want to pronounce his surname because I might make a mistake again. All right, can we go and he delivers his lecture. Please, I want to join us this time. Let's write, let's listen, and let's engage. Thank you very much, sir. You have the floor, sir.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Okay, ideally, I would say standing on existing protocols, but some protocols are kind of so light compared to the value, so we can't stand on them, they will break. And the reason is simple. The reason is because when you are called on stage to speak, when the person who left the stage are basically the persons that built you, it becomes quite difficult. So now I'm wondering, what do I say? It's kind of an amazing experience being here. And then coming, the first thing I asked, who are the speakers? And I saw Professor, come on. So I really want to celebrate. Please, let's celebrate our prof. Let's celebrate him. Just know that whatever I'm going to share today is a part of the things. Like I said, these are the men that built us, whatever level, right? The thing about having somebody ahead of you is that sometimes your journey becomes easy. You don't know the pain, the challenge, and the effort of the forerunners. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So I celebrate you, sir, and all you represent. Thank you very much. In fact, I came in, I was like, the talk is still going on, but I found myself, I started jotting, I started recording. And that's another thing, because you get into some of these occasions and you discover that you are the student. You have to learn. So it was so amazing. Thank you so much, sir. So let's have a brief talk, and hopefully I am able to pass one or two stuff across to you. Okay. So internship, career, volunteerism, and the likes. All going down to the focus of a diligent steward. You see, when your representative sent this topic to me and actually invited me for this, I was like, I don't do events. I don't normally do that. But then he actually obeyed a particular kind of law that is constraining me to be here today. And somehow, during their internship in the organization, I spoke about something like this and talked a lot and shared some of the things I want to share. And then, speaking to about 30, 40 students. And then at the end, he came and said, sir, I want to do this. I want to volunteer for this. I want to, like a direct. And then the next is, I also want you to speak to other persons about this. And I was like, I'm having too many persons already who are volunteering for things. But just because he actually kind of implemented or practiced a law, I'm already constrained to obey. So I'm only here just because I think that's Raphael. Raphael obeyed the law of servitude, of volunteerism. So it's actually a good one. Yeah, let's get into the meat of it. Let's get into the meat of it. You see, the society is changing. A lot of things are changing, and what becomes the framework for success has also changed over the years. Crucial issues like internship, like volunteerism, like diligence, sadly are not also well projected in this generation. Now, as Christians, the Bible made certain things very clear, and I'm going to start my discussions from there. And it said, starting from your anchor scripture, that seest thou a man diligent, right? In what he does, he will stand before what? Before what? Oh, it has to be interactive. Before what? And not men. And one thing I tell people when I tell them this is that the first thing you get to understand that the principles of God, the principles he has made are applicable whether you're a Christian, Muslim. They are applicable to criminals, righteous, saints, and sinners alike. These principles, the rain will fall on everyone regardless. And so is the principle of diligence. And so it's like regardless of who you are, right? There's just one secret, first secret of succeeding. Be diligent. And it's funny. It means, so I was telling you that even if the person is an armed robber, right? And is the most diligent armed robber, he's going to do well, better than the police and other persons who are not serious. If it's a cheat, because somehow in the whole equation, in the whole system God has designed, if you put in the effort and you are consistent with it, the results will come. I don't know if that makes sense, kind of. That diligence does not even respect your personalities. Being a Christian, there are some additional grace and favors we receive, but then your personality. And so, when people try to strive for success, right, in the things they do, you begin to look at what do they understand about some of these laid down frameworks and principles. Now, I'll merge all of them. So, diligence is actually a very serious cornerstone in whatever form of success you want to seek, whether it's academic, financial, material, spiritual, whatever the form of success you need to seek. Now, what characterizes diligence? One thing that actually defines diligence is consistency. Does that make sense? Consistency. And what I tell people is that I've come to discover that life is actually a game of two things: discipline and consistency. In the grand scheme of things, when we teach machine learning, right, there's a concept you call weight. For those of you who are into that data science, so you are training a model, there's what you call the weight. Would that be a good data? Okay, let's leave that. But you have scale of preference or order of importance. In the order of importance, right, diligence and consistency have been shown, right, by research to be more important than talent itself. Does that make sense? And so, when I teach people most times, I tell them there are certain things you should not worry about if you want to succeed, if you want to have good excellence in your academics and the rest. One, don't worry much about your level of intelligence. It is secondary. Does that make sense? Intelligence, secondary. Talent, secondary. The only thing you owe yourself, decide on what you want to do, be disciplined with it, and then be consistent. It's just like a game of showing up every day. Showing up every day. So, how is this important? The reason, because a good mentor, somebody I refer to a lot, said, time is the unit of destiny. Are we together? That destiny is measured in time. And time can only have impact, right? Are we together? In promoting your skills, your destiny, if you are consistent. Does that make sense? So it means somebody that comes and does one today, does a little tomorrow, another tomorrow, another tomorrow, another tomorrow. Are we together? Have better chances of being successful than someone who is skilled but only does a little, takes a long break. Do you understand what I'm saying? Translating this to your the first practical thing, your studies is going to be more of a function of how consistent you are with your studies, your excellence in your results. Do you understand what I'm saying? Sadly, the people who will graduate with first class, the best graduating students, may and will not always be the most intelligent ones in your department. The guys you will see succeed in their careers will and may not always be the most intelligent one. But most times, they are usually the most consistent ones and the most disciplined ones. So if you are worried about your academics now, you are worried you don't know much about, call it whatever course you are. The only thing you owe yourself is pick a time every day and give it your shot and read. Be disciplined and read. And the time is short. If not, I would have talked about the stages of learning. Let's see how far we could push this. Otherwise, hopefully, somehow, you get to learn that. But I'm saying be consistent. It's the very first criteria you want to learn when it comes to diligence. The next thing you need to understand, together, are we together? Okay, so the next thing you need to understand is that you need to understand the strategy for success in this dispensation, in this current generation. You see, every time in the history of the world, are we together? The strategy to succeed kind of changes, kind of shifts. Let's take a walkthrough. In the early days, let's look at days where literate guys were not much, where people were not much educated. All you need to do to succeed is literally to go to school, regardless of what you graduate with. Is that true? And as soon as you finish from school, there's somehow a job waiting for you and the rest. And then after a while, you begin to see more persons started going to school, right? So when you are looking for people who are educated, so many persons show up, right? Then the strategy changes. It's not enough to go to school now, but it's kind of very important to graduate with something good. And then if you graduate with first class, right? Together. Come on, come on, we are youths. So together. Okay, so if you graduate with first class, literally, you are getting a job offer. Literally. I mean, people are coming to your university in your final year during your defense and they are offering you jobs. These are things to witness. Right now, if you ask for first class, you are going to see a lot. Don't you think so? Are we together? So many. Now, other factors begin to come in. Things like the school you attend. Funny enough, FUTA has a very good rep that a lot of you are not leveraging. Because when you go online outside the FUTA environment, all you hear is FUTA. Right? And for okay, I didn't do my first degree. I came here for my master's and the rest. But the point is, outside there, when you search best technical schools in Nigeria and the rest, you see food are popping up, and you're like, and so I think kudos to that everyone. But I mean, now the choice of school you attend. So if you are able to school outside the country, it adds more. Does that make sense? Okay. Now beyond that, now you now begin to look at the next thing. Things like there are so many persons. Some are because of the nature of what I do. I get to interact with a lot of lecturers from outside the country and students from outside the country, and sometimes you see a class roster, 60% of them are Nigerians. It's funny. And so if you want to look for people who graduated the first class and schooled outside the country, you are going to see a lot of them now. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Then the question is, what becomes a strategy? Because it is one thing you want to be sure is that you don't want to be applying a strategy that is no longer relevant. Together? Okay. So now it becomes people who have exceptional skills. Are we together? Exceptional skills. People who have exceptional skills. And now, sadly enough, if you are looking for people with exceptional skills, there are so many. I told somebody it's not because they became more and theoretically, but because the internet has allowed us to discover them easily, more easily. Do you understand what I'm saying? Think of anything, you are going to see 10, 50 guys who are very good. Together? So what becomes the strategy for success? Now, to explain a bit about this, we'll talk about, dive into career, internship, and the like. One of the key strategies for success, especially in modern time, is experience, the level of experience. Together? Experience. Together? Okay. So, I employ people a lot, and most times when I consult for organizations, I get to also recruit for them. And one thing you get to see is, while I was actively searching for a job, one thing you know is that you see a job and see under 30 and 5 years of experience, right? You know how that thing is like scam. Are we together? Like, which time do they want me to get experience? But when you get out of the world and you are at the other side, you now discover, wow, that is actually the right strategy. And what is the reason? That's the first secret we are going to share. You see, most persons, studies have shown that most persons who will be successful, right? Only few that will happen out of luck. A lot of them, it will come through intentional effort. And you are going to see that prior. Like even in your class now, right? You are going to see some persons already doing very well in business. Or some persons very diligent, have this hustler culture. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Always going for. And the truth is, these persons have higher chances of succeeding in the future. And one thing you get to discover is people graduate, no experience, but they are skilled. And the industry cannot just absorb them. Because skill only has how far it can take you. How much exposure you have is a game changer. Together? So what becomes that strategy? A lot of persons leave the school and they are not experienced in anything. But a few other persons, before they finish their university, that's one thing you get to discover. They already have 2 years of experience, 3 years of experience, 4 years of experience. How is that possible? And that takes me back to one of the core concepts. I think it's so much existent prior to now, right? Together, but we are forgotten. And that's the concept of servitude and volunteerism. Together, you see, one thing that is dying, I wish that can be revived, is this apprenticeship system. Where you go and meet somebody, say, I want to save you, but teach me this. Together, the reason is because at your level of exposure, sincerely speaking, from an industry perspective, you have little to offer, regardless of your skill. It's a sad reality. Are we together? But the question is, you can't change that. And if you must change that, you must find a way to get that experience. And most times that experience will not come as a paid opportunity. Are we together? And so why in your universities, when you're 300 level, 400 level, what you need to do is to begin to look for organizations, begin to look for lecturers, begin to look for people who are literally doing well, right? In the areas you wish to grow and meet them. And then please, I'm going to emphasize, you don't demand financial exchange. If Prof is here, there are so many you are going to meet. If you are looking at building a career as a researcher, as a lecturer, you meet Prof. Say, Prof, I don't have time, but whenever I'm free, I want to come. Whatever you can ask me to do. It could be, just help me read this paper, just something like that. As a matter of fact, a lot of the persons who get scholarship, paid scholarships outside the country from the organization are people who are able to list research assistant. In fact, outside the world, they are so much big on research assistant position. Do you understand what I'm saying? One, you are going to have to master the act of volunteering and apprenticeship. Meet the lecturers. You have an industry somewhere around, maybe the North Gate, South Gate, or wherever you are, or during your holiday. If you walk into an industry and say, I can work as a clerk, I can work as whatever thing you can, literally might not even be the most juiciest thing you want to do. I don't need to be paid, but I just want to give experience. Chances, are we together? Chances are you are going to get a lot of yes than no. Are we together? Together. Does it even make sense? Does it look like what we can do? Because it is one thing for you to believe in. I was going through a CV yesterday and then listed a lot of things about me, a skilled, proficient, full stack developer, blah, 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 and I went to experience. Looking like just followed 1 or 2 YouTube tutorials and that's it. I can't put you on a project that involves the lives of others. You should understand what that means. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so, I think one of the tasks I gave people like Ralph, like, I have a lot of projects I'm working on, and most times I get people from, usually not within Nigeria's, assigned to me to onboard them on certain projects, right, for mentorship and rest. And then I say, these guys actually put this in their internship and put it as in their CV. But we don't have a lot of Nigerian guys getting experience before they leave school, and that is a problem. And one of the reasons I trace, I attribute that to, is that most times people want to earn immediately. Are we together? But then the principles of the world is different. First you learn, then you earn. First you learn, then you lead. Are we together? In fact, this takes me to, together. So you want to look for, there are even remote opportunities. Email companies, like most of the executive assistants I've hired are usually not people around. It's just like, just get a mail, sir. I saw you are building a platform for so and so. I want to work as a project manager. There's something that servitude brings when you are saying, I don't want anything. See, the secret, I want to go into some deep stuff now. The secret of the kingdom is funny. The secret to being fast is actually going slow. Are we together? The secret to speed in life is what? Going what? Slow. That's something Isaiah and maybe Hosea was saying, that the surviving remnant shall be a root downward. First, before fruit, upward. Because if you ever carry, have you seen a plant, like the parable of the sower, right? That plant planted on rocky stuff. Your fruit will kill you. Certain responsibility, certain level of income, right? 100K salary at this age might just be what will peg your career. You want to grow. Do you understand what I'm saying? We need money. Economy is hard. But the secret for more money is first, less money. Together? And the reason is that the world is built around value. Are we together? The world is built around what? Value. And I tell someone, there is no, in those days, I'm someone that, if I get, everyone, you should probably have that kind of aspiration. If I can just get a 100K job, I'll be okay. If I just get a 200K job, if I get a 500K job. And then somehow, I was telling people that I later discovered that unemployment is a serious issue, but there are no scarcity of jobs. There are no scarcity of jobs. If you think there is scarcity of job, go online each day and type any position. Try LinkedIn, full stack developer, and see how many roles will turn up. There are no scarcity of job. It is scarcity of value. Do you understand what I'm saying? And why there is scarcity of value is because people also undermine how much value is needed to be excellent. Does that make sense? Just a little, you finish one tutorial here, you just have a little exposure, you want a paid employment. You know, another thing I normally tell people, a popular comparison, it's not about whatever you are doing, it's how well you can do it. You are a baker. The question is, can you bake for the governor? Do you understand that thing? Are we together? And forget tribalism, nepotism. Value does not face discrimination. Hey, there's a certain level of value you get to. Discrimination is not. See, that if your strength faced you in the day of battle, he said what? What's the diagnosis? That your strength is low. If you ever meet any job because of nepotism they screened you out, you are not valuable enough. The reason is because if the president of Nigeria has the mother maybe needing a serious surgical operation now, right? Are we together? And the only person that can do it is one person that their village is having quarrel with, they have been killing. If you are the one, will you say this person is not my tribal person? If your company is sinking and the only person who can fix the bug, who can save the situation, is somebody that, do you understand what I'm saying, huh? That if your strength should feel the day of battle, the diagnosis is that your strength is low, not that the battle is too hard. Does that make sense? Are we together? So people underestimate how much value. I tell people, you underestimate how much work is needed for success. A little 2 hours reading here, you are angry, you feel that you deserve an A. You need to read. A little tutorial here, you feel you deserve. I was going through Hacker News yesterday, trying to compare something with a friend in Malaysia. Because people feel Nigerians are very good, but the global statistics in terms of developers, Nigerians are the 40th position. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. And till today, the global world still see Nigeria as a place that has skill shortage in terms of IT. And yet we are saying we have no jobs. How? Do you understand what I'm saying now? Are we together?